Senator, first, welcome. Secondly, congratulations on advancing your amendment. And your thoughts now about what lies ahead.
Lou, good to be with you. My focus in this legislation is to secure the border. This is about securing the border. We have 5 different triggers. You've mentioned them. A comprehensive plan on the southern border with the latest technology, 700 miles of fence, 20,000 more Border Patrol agents, mandatory national E-Verify system, electronic entry-exit system at all international airports and seaports. That's what I've been working on. That was the amendment we put forward today, and it's actually about 120 pages. The underlying bill is 1,100 pages. Our amendment's about 120, and again, it is about focusing on border security.
Well, it'll be about 10% of the overall measure. And what comes into play, as you know here, is whether or not it will be effective and whether these triggers will actually work. And there is, at least as I have read it, still no role for anyone but the administration, frankly, to decide whether or not there is a secure border. That's kind of tough for a lot of these Republicans to swallow. How do you respond?
Understand all those things are triggers. There's no green cards, no legal, lawful permanent residence status for anyone that's entered illegally until all those triggers are met. And with all, we have a $4.5 billion comprehensive strategic plan that must be deployed. That's written right into the legislation that includes sensors and radars and drones and helicopters and planes, combined with 700 miles of fence and 20,000 border agents, in addition to the 20,000 that are there, to make sure the border is secured. E-Verify and the entry-exit systems are designed to make sure that if people are here in this country, that when people come into this country, we also make sure they don't overstay their visas, and we require enforcement against people who do. That's why CBO came out today and said not only will it reduce illegal immigration significantly, but it will help prevent these visa overstays, which is currently 40% of the problem.
Yeah, if I may, Senator, the number is 25% of illegal immigrants into this country. That's who would be affected by this legislation, including
Lou, no. That's the underlying bill, and that's why it's clear we need these kinds of amendments that we've put forward to secure the border. That is the underlying bill without our amendment.
Let me show you what in that same report that you just quoted, what the Congressional Budget Office said, if I may. And I think we need to start with almost the first graph relevant to this. Although CBO cannot predict precisely, cannot precisely estimate the impact on population flows of either the committee-approved version of S-744 or the proposed amendment, that is your amendment, the agency expects that the amendment would further reduce the net annual flow of unauthorized residents in the United States relative to what would occur under the committee-approved bill. Now, that's a lot of words to say they don't know. Let me add the concluding,
Lou,
if I may, just Senator, and then I would like your response. The concluding statement is this. The uncertainty associated with future population flows under current law, S-744, as approved by the committee or the amendment, is very great. You tell me how I can divine much that is specific, authoritative, or reliable from what the Congressional Budget Office said, if that is the case. The uncertainty is very great.
Two things. First, the last part you were reading there relates to the financial aspect, where they talk about that the financial benefits that come with comprehensive immigration reform of almost $1 trillion over the next 20 years are still at play. That's what the uncertainty referred to, which is why they haven't changed that number. If you look in the middle of the report, it says a significant reduction in people coming here illegally, as well as making sure that we find and prosecute them so they don't overstay visas when they come
Well,
legally.
Senator, not to quibble with you, it says very specifically and precisely. The uncertainty, and if we may put this up again for everyone to read.
No, I understand that's in there.
Well, I want the audience to see what we're talking about, if I may, Senator.
Sure.
The uncertainty associated with future population flows under current law, as approved by the committee, S-744, or the amendment is very great. We go back to basically what is a waiver of any assertion of authority on these estimates here from the Congressional Budget Office. But
Lou,
leave
again,
it.
they're talking about the financial impact of the number of people that come into the country lawfully because it affects our economic growth. That's what I was saying, okay? Furthermore, not only do they say significant reduction in illegal immigration, but remember, all of these systems we put on the border, $4.5 billion in terms of this comprehensive plan, includes radars and sensors and video and things so we can track and have metrics on whether we stop the flow of illegal immigration across the border. That's what we're working to do.
Senator, not for even a moment do I doubt that your sincerity, your good intentions, but I have to also, if I may, bring forth a little history here. Duncan Hunter, Congressman Hunter, father of the current serving congressman, brought forth legislation back in 2006 to build 700 miles of fence on the border. We today have 36 miles of that 700. The language of Congressman Hunter's legislation that became law was 700 miles of fence shall be built, period. Again, the best of intentions and the strength of purpose and high values. The fact is that this administration and previous administrations have done everything they can to keep that border open. And there can be, it seems to me, in saying that, as the Congressional Budget Office has, that only 25% of illegal immigration will be stopped by this legislation. Add whatever your amendment is to that. It is still, frankly, too little when we have a proposition that I think you will agree there is a syllogism that works here. You cannot reform immigration law unless you control immigration, and you cannot control immigration if you do not control our borders and our ports. That seems to
we
me
agree.
to be axiomatic.
We agree that we need to control the border. That's what we're trying to do. That's why we not only put in there they have to build the 700 miles of fence, but it's also triggers. There's no lawful permanent status until that's done. I agree. We've got to find a way to secure the border. That's what I'm trying to do.
Senator, I know you are, and I wish you all of the very best in so doing, and we thank you for your time. And again, congratulations on advancing the amendment, and we thank you for your time.